Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to a new video. Today, I'm gonna tell you how I master my tracks. By this, I mean I'm not gonna tell you how hardware master his tracks. I'm not gonna tell you the best way of mastering. No, I'm not gonna tell you the worst way of mastering. I'm just gonna tell you how I master my tracks. I'm not really good at compression, so I tried not to do crazy things with multiband compression, with compression at all. I'm just using really simple things, but these things let me get a really loud sound on my track and get the dynamic range of um, commercial tracks. So let's go. Here I have my track alone. I use it for another tutorials, and this is not the final version. I have another one, but I use it the stems, and I don't have the stems, so I just took this one. It's enough for the tutorial. So first of all, what I do on the mastering is put my track on a channel and search for two, three, four tracks that are similar and the same style and tracks that I like the way they are mixed. So here I have Novel by Nicky Romero and Wait for the Night by Rivero and Wasbach. Let's load here the TT dynamic range meter. With this plugin, what I'm gonna do is get the same level on my no mastered track and the reference tracks. So first of all, with with Novel, I have to move a bit so the drop starts at the same point. Okay, first my track. It's on minus 30, so I'm gonna make the same. I'm gonna put the Novel on minus 30 also. Alright, now they are more or less on the same volume. Let's do the same with this one. Put at the same point the drop. This a bit uh, needs a bit of volume. Alright, so now they are on the same volume. Now we can start mastering the track. Here I have two plugins called from Nugen or Nugen, I don't know how it's pronounced. This is the send. This is the master check. With this plugin, first of all, we have to click here, and what this allows us is to disable all the plugins and enable the plugins with just one click. So what I'm gonna do is click here on these three, sorry, and for example, if I have a crazy EQ like this, uh, with this plugin, I just have to click here, and if this is enabled, it means that I'm on the previous version. I don't have any mastering plugin on the track. And if I enable, now this is the mastering track. All right. So I started mastering with an EQ. I search for some resonance. I'm gonna do it really fast just to let you know what to do. I start on the high end. I'm going really fast, and if for example here I have a bad resonance, I just decrease by, I try to do around -3, -2, and if it's really loud, -5, -4. I do it everywhere I need, and just that with this EQ. Now what I do is I load the Ozone 6 equalizer. This plugin is really useful because it has a match EQ, and with this what we can do is record the frequency of the track, the frequency spectrum, and compare it with the frequency spectrum of another track, and it also matches the EQ. So I'm gonna do it. Just click here for your track, capture, and press play.
A few moments later.
And now I'm gonna do the same with Novo.
12 seconds later.
All right, now I have here the frequency of both tracks. So first of all, what I do is I look with my eyes, and I see Novel is a bit louder, but more or less they have the same spectrum. But what you can do is match the EQ. All right, if you click here, it's gonna boost and reduce in the areas it needs. And what I do to make it more natural, I put this on 70% and I put it on 30% of amount so I can see what it's really doing. And I do this with all the reference tracks I have. For example, with Novo, I'm gonna check this EQ with my track. It works pretty well because it makes it a bit brighter. And then what you do is the same with another track. Just take this out, take again the reference, and now what you do is just match the EQ of this track. And see which one I like more. I prefer the one with Novo, so I'm gonna do it again. Okay, so the thing is that MP3 tracks has a cut on around 15k, 16k, and I don't want this cut. So what I do is I load another Pro Q2 from FabFilter, and what I do is I try to replicate this EQ. So for example, I have a little boost on here. My track, I think this track was in G or in F, I think, yeah. So I'm gonna boost a bit, just 1 dB or so on the very low end. I have a little boost around 400, half dB more or less. I have a little cut here, and I have another boost here. All right, just doing really quick. And now check this EQ. If it's good, dope. Continue. Next step. I don't really use this because I don't want to compress the tracks on the mastering, because you can destroy completely the track. Because maybe if you put a bad attack or a long release or something, it can add pumping effects on your track, and I don't really want that. But if I think I need a bit of compression, what I do is I have a preset that I took from ZenWorld from YouTube. Is this one really simple? 3 milliseconds of attack, 0.2 seconds of release, low ratio. And what I try to do is not compress more than 4 dB. Put the makeup so I can compare better. I think it's not adding any pumping effect or things like that. But what you can do, I'm gonna load a new one for this. What you can do is over compress the track, make it really compressed, so you can see if the settings are okay. So for example, if I compress like this, it's adding a bit of pumping effect. So maybe I need a longer attack or a shorter release, or I don't know. But with just a bit of compression, it worked well. And now the best thing I found on any plugin. With Ozone 8, you can do the same as the Match EQ with Ozone 6. But the good thing on this one is that you can do Match EQ, Match compression, and Match volume. So what you have to do is go here on reference, load the reference track. I loaded again Novo. And what I'm gonna do is choose the drop. Just have to go here. Sorry. All right. So it just starts there. And what you have to do is really simple. Just go here, master resistant, choose reference, the track you want. You can load more tracks. I just loaded Novo for this. And next, and play your track.
Tomorrow.
All right. So now Ozone 8 decided that I have too much low end. I think it's reduction. Yeah, I have a bit too much highs. And what I do is disable everything. This wasn't used. Disable everything and compare step by step. All right, this is pretty good. Now, what Ozone did is search for resonance and apply the dynamic EQ to it. And at this part, what he do is load just an EQ. For example, this one here. I take a band pass and I go to the points it's adding compression. For example, the first one is at 295. And this part, what I do is start by passing this dynamic EQ. Sometimes I do it here, and if it's too much, I just reduce. If it's okay, I maybe leave here, but I prefer not to overdo it, so I usually put it on -2 dB. Everything, it depends on the bands. Maybe I reduce more, maybe I reduce less. Okay, so imagine it's okay. Continue. It adds a maximizer, so it matches the level of novel, but I don't like to use this maximizer, so I just take it out. And what you do is I load the imager. I put another imager here on the mastering, on the master channel. And what you do at this point, first of all, is right click, learn, and play a track. What this does is take the bands of the track, and now I go band per band, comparing the stereo width of my track and the track of Novo and or Wait for the Night, the reference tracks. So for example, is the low end is pretty okay. Let's go to the mid section. My track is a bit mono here, so I'm gonna boost a bit, and just do this with every band. Just start comparing with every band. Imagine I just need this. Okay, so let's continue. Now that I have EQ'd my track, I compressed my track, I took some resonance out, I used the imager. I just need to boost the track, boost the volume. What I like to do is use FabFilter Pro L to cut the very peaks of the track, and I'm gonna try to don't reduce more than 2 dB. I'm gonna reduce the volume a bit here, so just for the video. What I'm doing here is just cutting the higher peaks of the track, because these peaks, if you don't cut them, then when you go into the limiter of the final limiter, what it's gonna do is they're gonna reach the level before the rest of the track. And when you reach the rest of the track with the limiter, those peaks are gonna be really compressed, and they are gonna apply a bit of distortion. So I like to cut a bit before, and then at the end I just use this limiter, invisible limiter, because I think is one of the best to boost the track. You can boost a lot your track without adding any distortion. And with this I use again the TT dynamic range. And for commercial EDM, you need a dynamic range of around 4. Nowadays tracks go even to 3, but that in my opinion is too much. And what I do, I'm gonna put this just to maintain the volume and so I don't blow your ears. What I'm gonna do is take this loud at all, and then when I hear the distortion, I start coming back until I don't hear anything, any distortion, I mean. Now it distorts a lot. Alright, now I don't hear distortion here, okay? But the thing is that I don't really believe in my ears. I don't trust my ears at all. And well, I'm now wearing earpods, but I normally use my speakers. and I don't trust on the acoustics of my room and these things, so I don't really know if it's really applying distortion or not. So what I do at this point is checking the dynamic range. Is around 3.8, so I can reduce a bit more and make it be at 4.3 more or less. So I'm gonna maybe do it like this. Yeah, I don't have distortion. It's a commercial level, and that's it, guys. This is really simple. I don't use advanced techniques. I don't use crazy stuff, but I get a loud volume. I get a really compressed track. I don't get any distortion, and it works. And with this, as I told you before, we can compare before and after. If we click here, it's gonna match the volumes. This is before. This is after. All right. It's not really a really good mastering because I'm just doing really quick for the video. But you can check this, and if you think now you have too much highs, so come back and reduce a bit of the highs, or if you found any resonance or something. So just to remember everything, I use an EQ to cut the resonance, and I forgot here to cut the highs and the lows. For the lows, I normally use 24 30 to don't overdo it, and I try to reduce around 30 hertz because not a lot of speakers go lower than 30 hertz. Then I use an EQ that tries to do the same of the match EQ here. Then I use a compressor if I need it. Then I use Ozone to let it master the track by itself with EQ, just a bit of an MEQ, and I put a imager. FabFilter Pro L to cut the very peaks, and the invisible limiter to master the track, to boost the track, the volume, and I put it on 16 so it has better quality. And just that, guys. So I would like you to test this, to try to do the same as me, and leave on the comments if it works. I think it's gonna work because you're not gonna apply some compression that is gonna destroy your track because of pumping effects or something like this, or multiband compressor that is gonna make it sound unbalanced between the different bands. And it's really simple. So if you have any comments, leave it down below. If you like the video and it helped you, leave a like, subscribe if you're not subscribed so you don't miss any tutorial. And guys, see you in the next video.